All right. First of all, I just want to say how grateful I am that I have you here, Michelle. Ladies and everyone watching, this is truly an honor. And I'm so excited for her to share her story with you. I selected you intentionally because of how you shown up and what you experienced and how you truly reinvented yourself and the transformation that I witnessed in you. So thank you so much for being willing to share here today and to tell us more about kind of where you started. So I'm just going to dive right in because you and I were already talking
Do it.
before, and I'm like, okay. So I would love if you could just take us back. You've completed reinvention, you're in ascension. I'm not even going to share the end story of where you are now, but we will get there. So before we do, could you take us back to where you were before you joined? Like, what did your life look like then? And what had you be a yes to this invitation to reinvention?
Yeah. So when I think back, I think, wow, wow. So I was married for it was going into 18 years, together 22 years. I was in a job that the job I loved, the environment was toxic as all get out. I've never been in such a toxic work environment in my life. And I was so excited because it was all women. And I was like, yes, finally get to work with a wonderful group of powerful women. And I, in all honesty and transparency, they were going to fire me. And so I left that position, and after I left the position, the marriage just started to deteriorate really quickly. And we had a conversation and we decided to dissolve the marriage and move ahead and started a divorce process probably a month later. And the reason why I said yes to reinvention was, in all honesty, I felt like I didn't have anything. I needed something that, one, was all mine, two, would really take me to where I knew I could go, but I didn't know how to get there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I said yes to a new journey because everything had just blown up and I thought, let's go.
So the decision for the marriage and the decision to leave happened while in reinvention, right?
Yeah, I
So
guess, yeah, it did.
because well, I know, but I'm like, right, because we were working so intimately together and we're in this group in a sacred container, and there was so much transpiring in your life and the lives of the other women in there. Before you joined, you had been looking for a job, right? You had been in and out of different jobs. And what were you looking to find? What was it that I know we talked and you're like the hours on LinkedIn, the different interviews. What was the hope there that you were wanting? Or what did you feel that you needed from while you were looking for a job at that time?
Are you talking about like the job I was looking for
Yeah, like just the
was,
different positions. Cause I feel like there was a huge piece, Michelle, where you were looking for that purpose.
yeah,
And I had, right, like I've known you, and there were different positions and times where you
I,
thought about pitching yourself in different ways within these companies and starting to have your own thing. So, what did you find that was inside you and that you were wanting to feel and experience in terms of your purpose and the value and fulfillment in terms of your career that like, what was happening there that you weren't finding or that was happening in terms of jobs and them not working?
yeah, you're right. I was looking and I fell into a sales training position and I loved it. I knew that was my calling, like to build people and to really watch them fly and to watch them have those aha moments. So I continued to look for a sales position and it was months before something even ever came up. And then that's when I ended up in the toxic. But through it all, even when I was in the position I loved, it, supporting the people in the field was my number one. It was being part of the team and knowing that I was a little bit of an outsider in my way of thinking. I saw things that other people couldn't. I brought forth new ideas that I always say they weren't ready for. they couldn't see things through my lens ever. And so I always, in all honesty, I struggled against the norm and continued to try to fit into something that now when I look back, I wasn't even meant for.
What did you like at the time, right? So you had these different areas in your life, right? Like your marriage, it, you were putting a lot of work into it for
Mhm.
years. And so what were you struggling with or feeling internally at the time as well when we first talked about reinvention and I was sharing with you about the program? What was kind of going on with you in terms of what you were feeling called to or wanting in your life and kind of struggling with internally?
I struggled with, is this it? Is this my life? I remember that I was coming up, so I must have just been 54 at that time. And I remember thinking to myself, if I happen to have the lifespan of my dad, who had passed away 12 years ago, then I have like how many years left? 16 years, 17 years, whatever the number was. I just remember thinking to myself, like, I only have 17 years left. And is this how I want to spend it, both in my personal and my professional life? And the answer to that was hell no. Then I was just like, this is going to take me there. Reinvention is going to help me find me again. I hadn't been me and I don't even know when. I don't even know when I was me. Probably when I was 3. It would be an exaggeration, but when we go back and really look, right, like, I lost myself and became the chameleon for my life,
As
and
do a lot of women.
right? To
Yes.
fit in.
We get taught very early on. Yeah.
Did that answer that question?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's helpful, because I think that a lot of women struggle and we need to feel a sense of purpose.
Mhm.
Especially, I think a lot of, women have even their children gives them a sense of purpose, their careers. And there was a lot that, was going on when you said in the very beginning, like, I didn't have anything. It's like when you think the partnership you knew wasn't what you wanted anymore, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
working. You had
yeah.
tried everything. Then again, you're trying everything with the career. That's not working. It's kind of like you get to a point of, okay, like it's time for me to come back to myself and look at that. So, what was your experience inside Reinvention? Like once you joined, what did that feel like for you?
It felt like home. I was discovering things about myself. Oh, it's gonna make me cry. I was like,
I know, I'm like looking at you, I was like, I
right?
could cry. I think about it. Oh my God.
I'm like, wow, what happened to you? Like, and I don't mean that like, what happened to you? I mean, like, where did you go?
Yeah.
How long have you been hiding? And I remember specifically in all of my journaling, and it was always talking about my light. Like, the world is waiting for your light. The world is waiting for your light. And so through reinvention, that's what I rediscovered. I rediscovered me. I rediscovered my light. I rediscovered what I was meant to do here. And so reinvention for
Freaking
me was
amazing.
coming home to self. And I'm not saying everyone has to lose a job and quit a job and go through a divorce and all that, because, I came into that program too with a lot of shame. Like, the shame was deep because I got married late in life. I had a child late in life. And there was a lot around, why couldn't you make it work?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you be this? And so reinvention taught me that I just have to be me. I came back to my worth. Like, hell, I am so worthy of an incredible life. And yeah.
Oh my God, girl. And you're
Oh,
living it. I can't wait to like tell them like
I'm
what you're
living
doing
it.
now. So I want to
Yeah.
know what surprised you the most, either in like the program or what you learned about yourself. Was there something that just surprised you the most? I can tell you my moment for you, but what was
Okay.
yours?
Also, for me, it was, I say the speed. For me, it was the speed at which I reconnected with myself, like really digging in and doing the work. And digging in is not the right term that I want to use, but really just like loving myself again. like that is, I feel like I can do anything now. I don't even feel like I know I can. It
Yeah.
went from like, ooh, who am I to like, this is who I am. Yeah. The power within, I guess, coming home to me.
So in the process of reinvention, it's identity meets purpose, and it's created specifically for that, where you craft the identity and then you come into the clarity and get clear. And it's been fascinating. So many women that come in and have no idea on where they're going to be led to their purpose, Michelle. And then they go through it. And, so I will get asked, like, but don't I need to have a business? Do I need to know what I need to do? I'm like, no, it's actually better if you don't. Because once you craft your
Great.
next level identity and you're being her, she wants you to do something very different than the version of you that came in, which is what you saw, right?
Yeah.
The version of you that came in. So when we got to the purpose portion, which still ties in identity, but the first half is identity, then we move into purpose and we marry the two. Because I always say, you don't need another strategy. We actually need to shift your identity. And Michelle, we were talking about her going to consulting, like, right? Like the natural next step for what she's doing.
Uh-huh.
She's gone divorced and like financially, what would and there was really no juice there when I look back. It was kinda like, yeah, I mean, it would be like I get to work for myself, like, this makes sense. And we were kind of like in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, we'll get her in the speaking circle." And she comes back after a weekend and had completely gotten a divine download. So now we've got a woman that not only knows who she is, but
Yeah.
she's like, "I'm ready to own the stage. I trust myself implicitly," whereas just literally 3 months earlier, she
Yeah.
was like, "I don't know if I trust myself. I don't know if I should have gone to board. Like, I don't know," and all of a sudden she's like, "I got this divine download. I'm gonna start an e-commerce gift box, like niche." I don't even wanna say gift box business. It's so much
Yeah.
cooler than that. It's like
Yeah. Not
and
even that.
no, and we're gonna get into that, and I got the URL, and I created the boxes, and I have the logo, and I'm ready to go, and I'm like, "You did what again?" And it was literally like 48 hours later, and that's
But
what happens
it
when you
was.
reinvent yourself and you're divinely aligned, and
Mhm.
that's how fast, because in 4 months' time, she had told her husband she wanted a divorce, which was, like, 8 years, right? Like, it was
Long.
moved during Christmas, left a job, started your business, found a home, got your daughter assimilate. It was to the point where I was mind blown, like, watching you. That moment was when I was like, "Oh, this program is a divine transmission." Because
Mhm.
it's like every woman was just like and Michelle, like, it was just and yeah, and it was just that was my moment where I was like, "This shit is gold." I was so excited. Excuse my French.
Yep.
So now I wanna ask you this because Reinvention is a robust program, right? Like,
Mhm.
and it's a transformational, you are dramatically different in 4 months' time, like, dramatically. I mean, night
Mhm.
and day, and we would say that about each woman that you saw and within yourself, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
So I wanna know, was there a specific moment or a module or that really stood out to you that had you, like, kind of shift everything? I know that's broad now that, we've been
Yeah.
out of the program for a while, but was there anything that
Yeah.
really was a transformational point for you?
It was the identity, and I'll tell you why I'm thinking about that. Yeah, because 'cause I'm thinking, I don't remember going through the program, but
I
but
know, right?
I'm going back. I bring the worksheets back, and I go back through things, and so when I went back through, I remember the questions coming up for me, and I was like, "No, no." Like, you go through it. I say you kinda, like, birth it, and then when you come out, then you're like you go back. And the wow moments probably happen more for me after. And as you and I still communicate and talk and in ascension and everything, but really just going, the aha moments are like, oh yeah, you're right, I did that. Oh my God. Like when you're like, what's the most profound moment? And I go, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that weekend. I
Yeah.
forgot about that weekend where I developed everything in about 3 days. And I was like, hey, look,
You were just like, "I'm
God
done
did
now."
it. It's not coming to fruition. And then as we step into that new identity, the people that we are meant to meet along the way and the people that are meant to support us come out of left field. I mean, there were people that, Ryan, I was like, oh, hey. and just supporting in whatever way people can. Because
Yeah.
innately, we want to do that for people. We want to help people as humans. So those people show up. And there are days that I was like, oh, I don't even know how this is going to happen. And then I was like, okay, it's going
And
to
your
happen.
family's supporting, like,
And my
especially through
family's
the
supporting.
holiday, like, it
Oh,
was so I wanna ask you, how do
yeah.
you feel? What has actually changed for you since joining?
This is what hasn't changed for me.
Like,
Really.
your home, your marriage status, your career.
But I will tell you, the biggest thing for me is my joy and my happiness. That's a wow for me. And to move through life now in my new identity, I walk different, I talk different. And I'll tell you, Mel, I didn't tell you this. So the funny thing is, Jill and I went out to dinner the other night and we were just at like this little pizza place. And the manager comes by our table and it's a male and he's like, "I love your glasses." And I'm like, "Thank you." And he stopped by our table 2 more times at the pizza place to
Yeah.
make sure everything was okay so he could bring us boxes to pack our stuff. And I was dying because I was like, "Yes, because my energy is so different."
Yeah.
And there's this house I pass every day that has, I'm assuming, a single man. And the other day he walked out and he just walked out for no reason. And I know that because he picked up one stick and he threw it into the common space next to him. And he's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Doing great, thanks." And then walked back into his
It
house. My energy is so different. That's what's different is my energy. And as you teach and as we know, energy is everything. People respond to that.
How would you describe your energy now?
I'm open, I am fun, I am loving. You know what? I'm living. My energy tells everybody I'm alive and I'm living, and watch out, because here I come.
Okay. And I know we said, like, everything's different because I was gonna ask you, like, how if you had described how you feel, and I don't mean to be, like, beating a dead horse, but I think as women, it is so profound when we feel like to even say you feel alive, happy,
Mhm,
excited by life, I think there are endless women in midlife walking around
mhm.
feeling like her hormones have the better of her, like, "This is it," right? Like, when you said
Yeah.
asking yourself, like, "Is this it?" That they're actually going like, "This is it? Is this" or, like, completely at a loss or telling themselves that it's too late for them or, "Oh, you don't need to like" or, "I don't know who I am," but they're kind of not actually taking time to find out. You I know it's not the sexiest thing to be like, "I'm gonna take time to really dive deep on myself." But you shifting your identity and getting clear on who you are, you know,
Mhm.
how has this like, how do you think and feel and show up now? Like, especially within your family, within, like, your family dynamics, like, what have you seen is different in the way because I think as women too, we're so worried about how our family's going to be if we change, and will they how will friends be? Like, what are some things that you've noticed there?
Probably the biggest thing is boundaries
Yeah.
because people just but I also notice that when we shift and when we accept ourselves as we are, everyone around us will. Like, my brother and my sister are so geeked for me, and they're just so happy, and even people that know me and haven't seen me in a long time or, I was at my nephew's wedding, and people were like, "I haven't seen that girl in forever." So, people are going to meet you where you are, good and bad,
Yep.
and so they've met me where I'm at. And I'm now telling them, this is who I am. And for those that can't really accept it, then our chapter is done and that's okay.
Yeah. There's a peace and a confidence to you. I've known Michelle, like, it's just I wanna know how do you
10, 12 years. I forgot how long we've been. Yeah. It's been a long time.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, we've been in each other's worlds for a long time. So,
Mhm.
how do you see yourself differently now? How would you describe you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely confident. I am myself. My enthusiasm is back. Right. And that's an energy that people love to be around. I mean, you want to be around somebody that's very energetic. And it's just there, my aura is different.
Aura is different.
I enter a room differently. Like I am not who I was 6 months ago.
No.
3 months. I
Like,
mean,
yeah.
like a 180. I'm a different
I
person.
mean, you're always like, I mean, I love you, like, amazing. You see yourself though now. Like, you see the woman that I
Yeah.
always saw. And you are not a wallflower by any means. And there's no more
Mm.
like, I don't want to be playing small. Like, you're just like, no, I play full out because this is who I am.
And
Oh,
unapologetic about it.
yes.
Like self, like unapologetic about self. Why do I need to apologize for being me? I'm freaking
Right?
awesome. You're
Your life
awesome.
again.
You know that, yes. And when we see ourselves as gifts and when we see ourselves as awesome, now other people will too. Yeah.
So this is what I want to say. And then we've got to share like, oh my God, there's so much. But what would you say to a woman who's feeling the pull but hasn't said yes? She's circling the idea of joining Reinvention.
Okay. What is your reason? What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
What that's really what it is. Like, and you and I talked about somebody, I would say, what are you waiting for? What makes you wait to love yourself fully? What makes you wait to just live life to the fullest, to just be a yes? What is making you wait for that?
Well, what about the woman that is riddled with guilt or shame? Like, that's a big one for women, or this belief that it won't work or it won't change anything.
And what happens if it does? Because I was in the shame boat. You and I know that. I was in a huge shame boat.
Yeah.
So what happens? What happens if it does?
What happens if it does? You get to be the Michelle camp where life, it's an exciting, it's when you start feeling excited by life again and you find
Yeah.
yourself.
And it doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter if you're 35 or 55 or 75. You want to feel life again? You feel like it's heavy. You feel shame. You feel this like, stop. Come on.
It's
Join me.
fascinating, right? Like the stories that, because I'll hear, but I don't know what I want or I don't know who I am. I'm like, well, you're not going to find out by telling yourself you don't know and sitting and doing the same thing, right? Like no change, no change. So would you recommend this experience?
Oh, 1000%. Yes. Because you're coming home to you. Like I came home to me. Like we spend so much time and energy on everybody else. And so I would say if I'm speaking into the camera to someone, I would be like, it's your turn. It's your
Oh,
turn to love yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh my God, girl. Yes, your turn. And because of
Yeah.
that, because you were yes to you, you're now, you showed your daughter what that means to love
Yeah.
yourself, choose yourself, and you're spreading that now. So as a result of you being a yes to you, not only did you come home to you and now your mother and your sister and your daughter get to witness you, your friends and me, and we get to see you and you inspire me all the time. You inspire everybody in our community. You inspire but the other thing is you then birth this business. So we can't not share. So tell us about Bedrock and the mission and the vision.
Oh, so yep. Bedrock Box came about on the weekend when, Jillian needed something to give for a birthday party. And I said, oh, do a Bedrock Box. And she goes, what? And I go, yeah, that's cute. Your friend's Bedrock and on. So that's how it was birthed. And it has morphed. Like, I think weekly it changes, right? Originally, it was just for teenagers up until like mid 20s. And that's been blown out of the water because it is really not even about a box. It is about giving women permission to rest. It's about a movement of saying, put the brakes on because it's not a badge of honor to be exhausted,
Yeah.
but that's what we're taught. Like you have to go, 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 go for everybody else. But this is really just about the box is a cheeky way of saying, crawl back into bed and put the covers over your head just for a day
Yeah.
and celebrating ourselves as women in everything that we do.
And isn't it fascinating that we think about Bedrock got birth, but this is the difference between stopping and standing still and going and saying like, I'm going to be yes to me. I'm going to do this program. I'm going to find out the clarity. And yet so many women, right, for years, you just kept applying for jobs and getting jobs and throwing spaghetti against the wall and not liking it, but being like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm getting a job. I'm going to go and work. And then I'm going to balance this with being a mom and being a wife. And I'm doing all the things, right? But the whole time you're exhausted. You're not happy. Your soul's starved, right? And instead,
Right.
you took time to just take a few months, right? To get clear. And then from that, you got like, that's where we need that. We need to give ourselves the grace and the space. And that's essentially what you're saying. The cheeky, like Bedrock Box is like, take time for you, but you get a
Yeah.
timeout. And this got birthed from your own experience. And now that's your gift to women, to the impact, to
Yeah.
your like your vision. And that came from you being a yes to you.
Absolutely. Like I look back and when I started this program, I would have never dreamed that I would be a founder and CEO ever. I thought I was just going to be my little consulting girl, running around the
Yep.
pharmaceutical world, doing all my sales training.
It's so
Not in a million
incredible.
years. Yeah.
And this is what I want to say. For anybody that wants to get a Bedrock Box, gonna put the link below here because we've got Mother's Day, we have Father's Day. They is like the best. If you would need to come up with a unique gift that literally just sends a message of love and rest and all the things for yourself, like I'm obsessed. And I'm gonna put the link below. And I just want to say, Michelle, like you are the gift, and what you're doing and what you've created is so epic and amazing. You have to follow her on TikTok, Facebook. Check out all her videos, like, share. We need to support our fellow ladies going out and our dreams. And you went for it and you're going for it and you're living it each day. And most of all, you're fully yourself and happy and you found you. And what's fascinating is for most of your life, you hid from the spotlight even though you are the light and that's what was always intended for you. So you
Mhm,
did come home to yourself and it's so beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing today and
mhm.
just being a part of our community and for sharing your story to inspire other women to believe in themselves and to go for their dreams and for what you're doing with your vision and your mission and you're a CEO and a founder. It's so epic. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Mel. And thank you for opening this up for all of us so that we can come back home to ourselves because I wouldn't be back home without you. And so I love you so much and thank you.
You so much. I wanna, like, we're gonna do I can't wait to
Thanks so
see you.
much.
I love you so much, and thank you again, and everybody. We will put all the links below, Reinvention to connect in with Michelle, and I will see you inside the group. Oh, my love.
See you. Bye.